Alright guys, so we're going to do some systems of equations. So here is number 1, y equals x minus 8. And y equals negative 8x plus 10. Alright, so remember when both of these are set equal to y, then we can set them equal to each other. So x minus 8 equals negative x plus 10. Alright, so then we're going to move the 8x over and make that positive 8x. And so put those together makes 9x. Then we're going to move the negative 8 over to the 10 and make that 18. Divide by 9. And so x equals 2. Okay, so remember that when we have x equals 2, we're going to substitute it back up into the one of the other equations. I'm going to choose the top one, and I'm going to say y equals 2 minus 8. And so then 2 minus 8 is negative 6. So then the point of intersection for these two are 2, negative 6. Okay, so here's number 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you work this one on your own. And if you'll pause the video, then I will give you the answer. So y equals 7x minus 1, and y equals negative 2x minus 10. So go ahead and pause the video. Try this one on your own. Alright, so here is the answer, negative 1, negative 8. That was my cat, you heard knocking something off, sorry. Alright, so I'm just going to play this through and let you see what happens. If you got that, then you can skip. So we're going to set them equal, just like we talked about in the last one. We're going to move the 2x over, make that plus 2x, which is going to be 9x. I'm going to move the 1 over, make that positive, which is going to be negative 9. We're going to divide by 9, and x equals negative 1. We're going to substitute that negative 1 back in. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. So here's how we get that. Alright, so the second type of substitution problem that we've had is where one of them is solved for y and then one of them isn't. Alright, so then we're going to substitute this in for the y right here. Remember, if y equals negative 3x plus 20, we can put it in place of y. So we're going to rewrite our second equation to look like this. We're going to distribute here. And we're going to say 5x plus 21x negative 140, and then equals negative 10. Alright, 5x plus 21x is 26x. We're going to move the 140 over and add it. But a negative 10 plus 140 is 130. We're going to divide 130 by 26. And we're going to get x to be 5. Alright, so now we're going to substitute the 5 back in. Negative 3 times 5 plus 20 will be negative 15 plus 20, which will also be 5. So the point of intersection here is 5, 5. So here again, I'm going to give you a problem. And then if you'll pause the video and work it out and see what answer you get. Alright, the answer to this one is no solution. So let's see what happens here if you didn't get that. So we're going to substitute the 2x in beside the negative 3. We're going to distribute that negative 3, and that's going to give us negative 6x minus 18. And then you're going to see here that the negative 6x and the 6x cancel, and so I get negative 18 equals negative 6. That is not a true statement. So remember, only if everything were to cancel and get 0 equals 0 would that be infinite. Alright, so now we're going to talk about elimination. So remember that in our questions that we have to ask ourselves, we're going to say, does something already cancel? So hopefully we can see here that the 4y and the negative 4y will cancel. And then if I use one big addition problem here, 10 minus 4 is 6x equals, and that would be negative 30, divided by 6, and x equals negative 5. So then we're going to substitute into either equation. I'm going to use the negative 4 because that one seems smaller there. So negative 4 times negative 5 minus 4y equals negative 4. So 20 minus 4y equals negative 4. We're going to move that 20 over. And negative 4y equals negative 24. Divide by negative 4. And y equals 6. So now we're going to substitute, or put that in our parentheses, so negative 5, 6. Again, I'm going to give you one here to try on your own if you would like. So I'm asking myself, does something already cancel? And then the answer to this one, if you want to go ahead and pause, you can. And then the answer to this one is 0, 1. So let's see, if you didn't get that, those cancel. That would be 6y equals 6. Divide by 6, and so y would be 1. So then we're going to substitute the 1 in. I'm going to use the bottom one here. So 6x plus 9 times 1 is 9. And so subtract the 9 over, and 6x equals 0. We know that 0 divided by any number is 0. So x is 0. We've got to make sure we write that in the right order. Alright, so the next type of elimination questions are these. So, again, I'm going to say, does anything cancel? Well, no, not like this. So, if I just changed a sign, would that help me? And the answer to that is yes. So, I can make one of the 4's positive as long as I change all the way across. So, negative 6 plus 5 is negative 1x. Minus 2, so divide by that negative 1, and so x is 2. Now notice that I changed the bottom equation, so when I substitute back in, I usually substitute back into the one that I didn't mess with to the original, okay? That's just my advice. You don't have to, you can do whichever as long as you pay attention to the correct signs there. So negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. I'm going to add that 12 over. Negative 4y equals 0. Again, 0 divided by any number is 0. And I know I'm moving a little fast, but if you need to pause it, you can, or go back. Alright, so the answer here is 2, 0. We are going to do one here. Again, I'm going to let you do one by yourself. Alright, again, does anything cancel as it is? Does just changing a sign help me? Now remember, you just can't change one sign. You got to change all the way across the whole equation to keep it balanced. My cat's gone a little nuts, sorry. Okay. Alright, so the answer to this one is 3, 1. So let's see what happens. Again, I'm going to change a sign here. There we go. So that would be 7x equals 21. I'm going to divide by 7, and x equals 3. So I'm going to substitute into the one I didn't change, which is that first one. So 8 times 3 minus 8y equals 16. 8 times 3 is 24. I'm then going to move the 24 over. And then I'm going to say negative 8y equals negative 8. Divide by negative 8, and y is going to be 1. Alright, so here are the ones that typically start giving people some trouble. So I can't just change a sign, nothing cancel as it is, so I'm going to say, can I multiply by something? Can I make a 2 and 8 by multiplication? Can I make a 6 and 12? And the answer to that is yes. We're going to do that by multiplication. Now, notice that the 8 and the 2 are the same sign. Alright, so actually I'm working with the y here, so that would make that one 12y. If I made it negative 2, or I could use the 8 and the 2 and multiply by 4. I'm working with the y's here. So then now I'm looking here, the negative 12 and 12 cancel. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 minus 48 is negative 36. I'm going to divide by 12, and so x is negative 3. So notice I'm going to go right into that middle one because I haven't really marked it up a lot. So I'm going to say 2 times negative 3 plus 6y equals 24. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Plus 6y is 24. I'm going to add that 6 over, and 6y equals 30, or sorry, that's negative 24. So negative 18 divided by 6, and y equals negative 3. All right. So here again is one for you to try. I can't make it to a 7. I can make that 1 in front of that negative x a 5, but now notice that they're the same sign. So when I multiply, I'm going to have to multiply by negative 5, so be careful there. All right, so try that and see if you get this answer. You can pause. All right, so if you didn't get that answer, again, I'm going to have to multiply by negative 5 to change that sign. So that's going to be 5x plus 10y equals 35. And then that gets those to cancel. Then 3y, because 10 minus 7 is 3y, equals 24, divided by 3. And y equals 8. Again, you can go back and watch if it's too fast there. So negative x minus 2y times 8 equals negative 7. I went into that one because it was smaller numbers, and I felt that would be easier. So I'm going to add over that 16. And so then negative x equals 9. So then I have to divide by negative 1. And x equals negative 9. So my answer is negative 9. All right. So the last type here is when it would be what we've been calling question 4 to ask ourselves. I can't multiply 3 to get a 4. I can't multiply 6 to get a 7. So then I have to think, okay, is there a number that I can get 3 and 4 to, which would be 12? Or I could choose to get 6 and 7 to 42. I think you'll agree that 4 and 3 being 12 is easier. So again, I've got to change a sign. So one of those bad boys has got to be negative before I multiply it, because the 4 and the 3 are both positive. So we got to change a sign. So here we go. We got negative 12x plus 18y equals negative 84. Then on the bottom one here, 12x plus 28y equals negative 100. So then those cancel, and I got 46y equals negative 184. I need to divide by 46. And I'll help you out with your math there. That would be negative 4. All right. So we're going to substitute. I've got 4 options here to substitute that negative 4 in. So I'm going to go into that 3x plus 7 times negative 4 equals negative 25. You could have chose to go on the top one and you'd have gotten the same answer if you worked it out right. So here, then we're going to move over that 28. And then 3x equals 3. And then we're going to divide by 3. And x equals 1. Alright, so here is one for you to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you this answer. If you watch the video and you try this one and you bring it in, I may give you some extra credit if you have the right answer. So work that out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck on your test.